Hey y'all, how are y'all? It's late, huh? It's late. Um, but I'm here. I wasn't going to jump on tonight, but I have been being tugged tonight about a topic. But to introduce myself, as y'all know, I'm Lakeisha and I'm the founder of Take Your Mask Off, right? And we talk about being our authentic self through the lenses of parents and as our children, all right? And so tonight I have been assigned a word that I have been thinking about the last couple weeks. And tonight I was on another call, on another live, another Zoom call, excuse me, and it was talking about this word, and so I'm like, okay, I hear it, and then I was just sitting here, just kind of like strolling or doing whatever I was doing. I'm not sure what I was doing, and I got a text message about pushing, pretty much don't allow the mask that I wear or that we wear to be our identity and allow it to silence us, right? And so the word that, like I said, I've been hearing is transparency. Um, and what that means, what that looks like from a parent standpoint, from a mom standpoint, from a child standpoint, right? And it is, again, I only can speak from my experience as a parent. I made everything look good, right? I made everything look like it was put together. I made everything look like it was easy, easy peasy going through life, right? And um, did not teach my kids or did not show my kids the struggles, right? Because I didn't want to seem like I didn't have it all together. And that was a true mask that I was worn as I was raising my children. And so just tonight, just want to speak about transparency just a little while and just really be, just kind of give, again, some encouragement and give each other permission to really walk in our transparency. And when we say transparency, we can't be transparent with everybody, of course. And so we have to know who we can be transparent with, but we know in the word of God it tells us that we are overcome by our testimonies and by the blood of the lamb. And so testimonies and transparency is important to come through and get over things. And like I said tonight, I wasn't going to come on live tonight, but I just been urged in my spirit to really talk about this tonight. And transparency is real. Transparency is needed, especially when it comes to our children, because we don't want our kids to think that life is just so easy and so grand that we kind of get through it with no struggles. And for me as a parent, that's what I did, right? I made everything look easy. They didn't see the behind the scene, things that I had to do to make things happen. Nothing illegal, of course, but just to give an example, we lived in our house, and we went through the trenches to get to having the home that we have. And my daughter was like, her first apartment, she wanted granite countertops. I'm like, girl, you can't just come out the gate with granite, countertops. But that just showed me her mentality of what she's seen growing up. She didn't see, me having to save. She didn't see me having to do the things I had to do to come up to get the house that we ended up in. But we lived in certain other places, but they didn't see it as a come up. They just seen it as we landed, right? And so just teaching them not, I won't say the struggles, just the route that we had to go to get to where we wanted, where we really wanted to land and be comfortable, and just being transparent with our kids, as a person, being honest, right? Honesty is so important for us as we go through life. And because we are people and because of society, we put on the mask to make sure that we, have everything together, we present ourselves well. But again, I continue to say that that is a false identity, right? We wear a mask and we disguise ourselves as being something that we're really not, to show up for people who probably not even paying us any attention. I say it all the time. We're putting on masks to show up for people who's probably not even paying us any attention, right? And what our kids do the same thing. We don't teach them. Again, for me, I did not teach my kids the vulnerability. I did not teach my kids how to communicate their emotion. I did not teach my kids how to be real with their emotion. I did not teach them because we want everything to be put together, right? And just be, just kind of move through real easy. But transparency is a tool and a task and a lesson that needs to be taught with our kids, because if we don't teach them the foundation of moving through life when life is just not what we want it to be, we can tend to set them up for failure. Right. And we don't want to set our kids up for failure. We want them to be able to understand that sometimes we can't land, exactly where we want to be at all the time, but we can work through it. And so teaching them how to, to sit down with the bill, letting them know we got more money than we got bills, or we got more bills, we have money this month, right? We might not be able to go out to do X, Y, and Z today, and tell them the real reason why. Don't just say we're not going, right? And let them understand that, look, we just can't do it because we don't have enough this time, but maybe next time. And just teaching them that, we go through struggles and we have to, rob Peter to pay Paul. And I heard something, a joke a couple weeks ago where it said, Peter's tired of being robbed, right? But sitting them down to show them how to do a budget, sitting them down, letting them understand that everything is not peaches and roses all the time. But as a parent, I did not want my kids to see that. I didn't want them to see that I couldn't make it happen. I didn't want them to see that I didn't have it all together. I didn't want them to see that, oh my God, this is not going to happen this time, because I felt like if they seen that in me, that I was less than, right? Or I was in a sense a failure for a mom. And I'm just telling you my train of thought that I went through, when I was raising my kids. But now I understand the transparency of it. But the big thing is I didn't let my kids see me cry. I didn't let my kids see me vulnerable and upset, right? I didn't let them see that. And they categorized me as being so hard, right? Just hard, because I was always the strong person. But when I got frustrated and now I'm blowing up at everybody, I was like, well, what's going on? I thought you had it all together, right? And so just letting them understand that transparency is something that is a true emotion that we have to walk through. One of my daughters told me a long time ago, she was like, Ma, why would we come to your aid if you always have stuff put together? If you always have things together, why would we come to your aid? And I had to sit with that thing, right? Because that's not the way I wanted to be betrayed, but that's the way I showed up, right? That's the way I showed up. That's the way I allow my kids to see me. And then I'm upset when they don't come to my aid. So it's like, okay, which one do you want, right? Do you want to be vulnerable with your kids? Do you want to be able to show your emotions and not feel like you're weak? Right? Because I'm not weak. I'm having a weak moment. And guess what? It's okay. But we tend to want to show up and we have it all put together. And then when our kids are going through something, or when we ask our kids, what's going on with you? And it's like, I'm good. You can't get mad with them, because guess what? We taught them that. We taught them to show up as I'm good, right? When they're not good. But at the same token, we have to understand that we have to teach them how to emotionally express themselves. And if we're always showing up as I'm good, and then they show up as I'm good, and they never talk about anything, they learn it from us. They learn it from us. And so we have to be transparent with our kids. We have to be transparent with ourselves. We have to be honest with ourselves. I talked about it last night. When you look in the mirror, what do you say to yourself, right? Like today, just again, being transparent. Today was a rough day for me. Today was such a rough day for me. It's like I was getting hit from every side today. I'm like, God, what the heck is going on, right? And it was just like I could not like gather myself, right, to even push through today. And so my son kept saying, Mom, what is wrong with you? I'm like, I don't even know. But usually I will say, I'm good. I'm good, right? But I didn't do that today. I pushed through it. I told the truth and said, you know what? I don't know what is going on. I'm not going to stay in front of God today, but today is a rough day. Today is a rough day, and guess what? It's okay, right? But I could have told my son, oh, I'm good, and I could have pretend and put on that happy face, a happy mask, and push through. But what would that have taught my son? right? To fake it till you make it. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that anymore. We're taking those masks off. We're being transparent. We're being honest with ourselves. We're walking in our truth. We're walking in our truth to say, I'm not good today. I'm just, it's a lot going on emotionally, spiritual. I don't know what's going on. I'm just kind of like all over the place today. But guess what? I trust God. Right? Because I had to take it to God and let God say, God, look, I don't know what's going on, but I know you said all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. So I know that. So I had to put myself back in the place of transparency and vulnerability with myself and with God, right? We got to stop pretending we're okay when we're not okay. We got to stop showing our kids to show up even when you can't show up. We got to give them the space to not be okay. We have to let them understand you can tell me that you're not okay. You can be okay. You cannot be okay. And it's okay, right? But I just, again, being honest with yourself and just really just walking in your truth, whatever it looks like. Whatever it looks like, we have to unmask. This world today is not, we have to show up our authentic self to be able to bring in the masses. The word tells us to go, therefore, and create disciples and make disciples, right? How are we going to go get people to bring them to God when we're faking? You got to reach them where they're at. And the way to reach people where they're at is being in your honest space. So if you're going out there and you see somebody that's the young girls that kind of wear their clothes a little too short, a little too tight. You know what I'm saying? You have to reach them where they're at, but you have to let them understand. I know, I see you, because I used to do X, Y, and Z too. But if I'm going out there trying to bash them and tell them, "Oh, you wrong," and yada yada, this, that, other, they look like, "Who are you?" But if I can reach them and let them know, I get where you're at. I used to be there. I used to do that. But we sometimes let people see that we have arrived, so we think, right? But they don't see the process of that arrival or that landing place, right? And so the transparency is where that comes in at, letting them know, yeah, I used to be in the club. Yep, I did all that. I promise you, I used to drink, I used to do all that, right? But it's okay. And I'm not going to judge you, but we can't allow ourselves to be so, all high and mighty that we can't reach to where we used to be, if we're being honest, right? Where we used to be. We have to understand that transparency is how we're going to get these kids. Transparency is how we're going to keep these kids. Transparency as a parent is going to be honest, allowing our kids to see, oh, maybe mama's not that hard. Maybe mama really don't have it all together. And I'm getting emotional now because it's just like sometimes we want to let that mask go, but we're so programmed. We're so programmed to be perfect and put together because we don't want somebody to let people see us, as we're being flawed. We're flawed people. We're flawed people. Hey, Paula, we're flawed people, right? So we should not be ashamed of our testimony. We should not be ashamed of where we came from, not where we're at, where we came from, because where we came from is going to be a testimony to bring somebody else out of where they're at currently, right? And we have to understand that transparency is not a weakness. But we can't always be put together and have everything in place and then expect people, to say, "Oh, she might need some assistance," or our kids say, "Oh, maybe she's not that hard. Maybe we can help her out a little bit more." But again, just speaking from my experience, my kids never seen me cry. My kids never seen me not have it all together. My kids always knew that mama got it. Trust and believe. I did, but I had weak moments, right? I had weak moments, and we have to understand that it's okay because the Bible tells us when you're weak, that's when God is being made strong. If we're always strong, when is God going to be able to step in and help us, right? When is our community going to be able to step in and help us, right? When is our kids going to be able to say, "You know what, mama's tired, let me help her," right? We have to understand that having God gave us tears. He knew we were going to need them. He gave us emotions. He knew we were going to express them, right? And it's just so important that our kids understand that we're not as hard as we portray to be. I know I'm not. I'm a big old crybaby, and I cry. Now that I'm going through my healing journey, I cry like it's no other, right? Because I understand I don't have to hold it all together anymore. I don't have to pretend like I got it all together anymore, right? And when I did, like I told my children, I had no choice because I did not have a true relationship with God then. All I knew was independent woman. INDP. That song, the foolishness, right? I don't want to be independent anymore. I don't want to do it because it's heavy. That mask is heavy. It's heavy, right? And so I just wanted to really just encourage us tonight to understand that it's okay to take that mask off. It's okay to say, I don't have it all together. It's okay to have a vulnerable moment and let your tears flow. It's okay to allow your kids to see you like that. I promise you. I promise you, it will help more than you think it will. Because I know of a parent that I was talking to a couple weeks ago where she has an OCD situation going on, right? She has an OCD situation. Yes, parenting is it can be very stressful. It can be. I promise you. And the parent that I was talking to a couple weeks ago, she was OCD, right? And her daughter, all she seen was her mom having everything in order. Everything was perfect. Everything was in line. The tissue got to be lined up. The towel got to be folded perfectly. Everything got to be lined up. Everything had to be in a perfect spot, right? All she seen was perfection because of this order, because of this disorder that her mom was suffering from, right? All she seen was perfection. That's all she seen. And so now the mom wants her to talk to her, but it's like, I don't want to be imperfect because you have everything in line and perfect. And so I asked the mom, I said, has she ever seen you not being perfect? She was like, no, I always make sure everything is, straightened up and in its place. And so now I feel that the child is feeling pressure to be perfect. So I don't want to come to you in my flawed way to make you upset. And when we were starting to process this thing out, all the mom could do was cry because all she showed that child was being in place, being perfect, right? So we have to understand that our kids need to see our flaws. Again, we can't do that with everybody. I get it. I get it. Trust me, I do. But with our kids, to bridge that gap, that we have with our kids of lack of communication, lack of understanding, all those things, I truly believe that by me being able to show my kids my flaws and me being able to show my kids that I don't have it all together, I don't care what you think, I don't care what I may, give you as far as an idea of how I don't have it together. I don't. I don't know. I don't know. Our kids, I feel with my kids, they start to respect me even more. My daughter would ask me, Mom, well, what do you think? Girl, I don't know. Let's Google it together because I don't know. Right? I stopped pretending like I knew all the answers. I stopped pretending that I had it all together. I stopped pretending that I'm just this super mom. I'm a very good mom. I know I am. You don't have to tell me I'm a good mom, right? But I'm also human. I'm also human. And I just really wanted to talk about that transparency tonight because sometimes we let our mask that we're wearing silence us. And we can't do that. We can't allow that mask that we're wearing around to silence our voice, right? That mask is heavy, man. That persona that we put on and walk around people, it gets heavy. It gets heavy, right? How you doing? Oh, I'm good, girl. No, 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 no. I'm not good today. I'm not good. I'm not good. But how many of us can really say that without feeling guilty, without feeling shamed, right? Mm-mm. I'm not having a good day today. It's gonna get there because I trust God. I know. But right now in this moment, it's not a really good moment for me, but I'm going to continue to push through, right? How many of us can really say that and be okay with it, right? So I just wanted to come on tonight, like I said, just really talk about that transparency because it's really been heavy in my spirit. Like I said, today was a rough day. I ain't gonna even lie to you. I ain't gonna even hold you. Today was a rough day. I ended up pushing through and getting things done I need to get done, right? But I'm telling you, man. And then with my son, asking me, how you doing? And so he knows when I'm in that space, he just kind of like exit left, right? Because when we're frustrated and when we're overwhelmed, we can pop off on the wrong person. We can lash out at the wrong person, right? And so one thing that my kids know, when I am in that mood, I get really, really quiet and I just listen to what God has to say to me. I don't like to talk in those moments. I don't like to be, over, active or whatever. I just kind of sit, right? Because I know that I'm in a mood that I just don't know how to get out of. And my kids respect that because I have been honest with my kids to let them know I'm not doing good right now. Just give me a minute, right? And so again, instead of us pretending and then lashing out at them or, giving them the backlash of our frustration, be honest. You never know. Some days I'm not good. My son going to prayer for me. My son pray for me. He'll stop right where he is and say, Mom, I'm going to pray for you. You never know the blessing you can get from your kids by being honest, right? So again, I just encourage us parents to just let our kids understand that nah, I ain't got it together. No, we got more bill than we got money this month. We might have to eat some sandwiches and some chips or whatever. Hey, it- I just can't make it happen right now. But I know God says that He gonna supply all of our needs. So I'm not stressing about that. But I'm just gonna be honest with you and let you know we can't do that. We can't do it. Right? But I know me, I would push through, figure out a way, flip, dip, run around in circles, do cartwheels. That was me. I was gonna make it happen. And I stressed myself to the max. Now I can't do that no more. Because again, I'm a human being and I do that for everybody else. I take time for them. I encourage them. I put, I do things for them. Why not do it for me? Why not do it for me? Right? And so again, I want to encourage you today to really walk in your transparency. Being honest, if you don't be honest with nobody else, it's you and God. Stop pretending in front of God. Stop pretending to yourself. It does you no good. I promise you it don't. I'm talking from experience. It does you no good. Just be honest, right? Walk in your transparency. Walk in your authenticity. Walk in the realness of God, who God created you to be. Yeah, I'm telling you, transparency is freedom. It really is. Unmasking is freedom. It's freedom. It really is. So yeah, like I said, it was just heavy in my spirit tonight. Like I said, I was on another call, a Zoom call, and they started talking about transparency. And then probably about 10 minutes later, after I got off that call, someone texted me about transparency and not being silenced about the mask that you're wearing, right? And so I was just compelled to come on and just give you what God gave me. And it has really been in my spirit all day today. And then it was just confirmed after that, right? And so again, just be real with yourself. Be real with your children. You never know how your transparency can maybe bridge that gap with you and your children. And y'all have a conversation. And you don't have to always be a dictator. I know we can't be our kids' friend, but I'm just saying we can have a conversation with them. We can have a conversation, right? We can have a friendly moment. But allow them to really just kind of see you in your vulnerability, right? I promise you, you never know what that can do, right? So that's what I have tonight. Excuse me. That's what I have for you tonight. Yeah, walking in transparency is freedom. Yeah. So, as I always say, gracious, I am who I am and I love me. Take your mask off and become the best version of yourself. Transparency. Transparency is freedom. Transparency is a whole lesson for you and your child, right? Until next time, take your mask off.